Well, let me ask you what you think about your future and what you think you're going to be doing. I know that you're going out with Lyle a lot, and you're still doing your recording projects like you had mentioned before.
Mhm.
Um, but what do you see coming up? You had said before that you're going to do this until you can't do it anymore.
I'm still there.
Yeah,
I really am. I mean, I just it's I still dig touring. You know, I still love playing live. So as long as I get hired, I'll go out and do that. Um, and as long as somebody calls me to do something in the studio, or I've got two projects, I'm going to probably work on one of them this evening at home. Uh, and I don't know, I mean, it's weird, to be 77 years old and you think back to when you were a kid, and if you were talking to somebody 77, they were getting ready to cack, they were about done with everything, and they seemed old and spent.
right.
And at this point, so many of the guys I know were all in this kind of same boat at that kind of 70 to early 80s thing, and everybody's still loving what they're doing.
Yeah,
So, I'm thrilled that we've already got springtime to look for with Lyle, and then I've signed up to do the rock and roll fantasy camp, being one of the people there, and we'll probably be doing the Grammy pre-show again. And
that's
is
my favorite. That's one of my favorites right there.
That's mine too. So, kind of whatever happens. So I don't have any long-term things like what am I going to do when I'm 85 now? It's like the reality of it is even if I'm really healthy, if I'm looking at a calendar, there's still a finite amount of dates. It's not like you were 22 and you're looking at the calendar and it looked like eternity was ahead of you. At this point now, there's maybe 15 years left or something like that. That goes by really quick.
Yeah.
So I want to try to just make the most out of all of it. When we're finished here, I'm going to go down and feed the pups and hang out with them for a little while, and then I'll come back up here and work for a while. I've got a chart ready to go here for a song for somebody, and it just I think I just kind of I'm 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 comfortable with the trajectory that I'm still on, and I really don't have any thoughts about something else going on. I mean, if suddenly I wasn't playing anymore, I might go back and dig in a little deeper into my artwork again, which I could still do at home. I might start welding again, which is artistically, that was my favorite thing, was welding. And uh and I don't know, there's options out there. I don't feel like a one trick pony, but I do feel like there are certain things that if I have to make choices, that's what I'll do. And music has always kind of been at the top of that list. So,
I think when people give themselves an artificial time when they say, "Okay, I'm going to be 80 years old and I'm going to quit," when they give that artificial time, it's almost a uh,
yes,
it makes it like a where you get close to it possibly, and then you start to regret thinking that you should quit, or that
well,
you
there
start,
was, yeah, there was an element of that when we did the James Taylor Carole King reunion tour. And
right.
at the beginning of it, Carol said, she was the oldest person out there, and she said, "No, I don't think I'm going to have it. I don't think I can do this." And and so they turned down like an unbelievable European tour and all this stuff. And by the time we got to the end of the tour, she said, "I'm kind of feeling stronger but she had already committed that that was going to be the end of it. And she had like a book she was working on and stuff like
Right.
that. But yeah, there are times where you got to be real careful. But like I've known so many people that had like a countdown clock on their desk at work for that was to their retirement.
Right.
And after that thing goes, I don't have to put on a tie anymore, or that kind of
Yeah.
mentality. And so many people I know hated their jobs, so they can't wait to retire from it. But I'm really blessed that my profession, my job, has been something I would have done as a hobby if I wasn't doing what I'm doing now. So I really don't see uh, putting a cutoff date on anything. I really think the only thing that would make me stop doing this is if I don't get called or if I become infirmed in such a way that I can't do this anymore. But as long as these are all working and I can still memorize a lot of music and go out on the road and do what I do, I really see no reason to have to think of alternatives.